I guess with my faith life, that really began, or I've had my faith all my life, but more strongly about 15 years ago, through an encounter actually at a funeral. It was of my Uncle Bob, and the priest officiating the funeral was Father Brendan Connell, a Passionist priest. So I didn't know him at the time, but after the funeral, I was just so taken with how approachable he was and how beautiful the ceremony was, Sharon, that I asked a cousin of mine which order he belonged to, and she told me that Father Brendan was involved with the Passionist religious order. So this actually was New Year's Eve of all days for a funeral, 40-degree heat, and I remember going up that afternoon to the St. Paul of the Cross up at Glen Osmond, which is at least 10 kilometres away from where I live, so it wasn't local, and saw what time the masses were, and went that Sunday, and I've been involved with the Passionists ever since. Then I was interested in taking up some study and actually discerning in the religious life. So at the time, even though I was involved with the Passionists, I was discerning with the Josephites. I had a discernment guide there, Sister Teresa Swiggs, who I'm still very good friends with. But then I took up work as a carer. I did a crash course, it was for 4 weeks, and I became a carer for aged care, and I got a job at the Flora MacDonald nursing home. So again, still very involved with the Passionist communities, discerning religious life. And then I had the calling to go back to country life. So that's why I left Adelaide. My mum had passed away, and I became an aged carer in at St. Joseph's here at Port Pirie. So that was my re-entering my second home, Port Pirie. That was nearly 7 years ago. So 2 years into as a carer, I got a bit weighed down with the type of work, and a bit hard to switch off, as you do when you love it so much. But because I became involved with the parish here very quickly at St. Mark's Parish, there was a job opportunity as the parish pastoral associate, but in a paid position for 16 hours a week, and also an opening for clergy care coordinator. There's challenges as personally, and it's a ministry that you take on. Certainly at the time, I don't think I realised it can be very consuming, in the fact that particularly being in the country, and that's one reason why I came back to the country. I love the country lifestyle and the community involvement, but I rarely get to say no. That's a very hard word to say, particularly when you see all the needs around you. And I certainly seem to have good eyes, I guess, for the needs. And it's really a juggling act, Sharon. It's certainly a ministry that's 7 days a week. I guess the challenge is, for me personally, is it's where do you take that time out or time off, and you certainly try and take a couple of hours here or there, or a day off when you can, but just sometimes it is hard, or you're unable to, or I choose to not say no. So I guess that's one of the challenges there. I guess it's an inner drive. Sometimes it's not. It's a bit hard to explain. I think you either have that. I think it's a desire that it's just naturally inbuilt. I don't think it's something that everyone can do, and I guess other than Jesus is a big part of my life, and my faith ministry, but my mother, who has passed away. But I look back on her life, and she's a great inspiration to me still. I think it's because when you're serving others, that's a big part of our relationship with Jesus, because and you've asked me what drives me, so just being the hands, heart and feet of Jesus in general. And I think if I come across someone, even if it's a home visit or at the nursing homes, what would he like me to do? If I mean, he's here with me spiritually, but how would he like me to treat others? And that comes back to what I see in the needs of the community in general, and I guess the joys of that is it may just simply be a smile that you get back from the other person that you're having this encounter with. You can see their struggles. I empathise as much as I can with what they're going through without being a counsellor, and just trying to put myself in their shoes, and that's the satisfaction that I get, is that there's always a thank you. They're so grateful, particularly when I'm able to give them the Blessed Sacrament. I find a lot of joy with that. We're working a lot on welcoming. I'm part of the welcoming committee, and I think that's vital, because that's my first encounter with the Passionist community was the welcome, not just with Father Brendan at the funeral and meeting him after at Mass to thank him for all he did for Uncle Bob, but was the welcoming. There was 2 people out the front to give out the bulletins, to introduce themselves. It's a no-brainer that you stand out if you're obviously new to the church or you're there for the first time. And that first time I went to Mass, a lovely parishioner by the name of Bryony, so we're still very good friends, came and introduced herself and offered to take me for a coffee. It's like, how do we get the youth involved? I think we're all hitting our heads against the wall with that, but we have the net ministry here at the moment. They've just arrived a week ago, so that's going to be wonderful to have them here for the 9 months. The parishioners, probably very similar in interstate, is they're getting quite elderly. And even this morning, our 3 ministers for home visits are in their 80s. Bless their heart. I think this is a familiar story. So I think that's the challenges there. Where's that generation? Where are they? And it's always beautiful to see them come and prepare the children for their sacraments. And actually you see the families, and the church is full. And then once the sacraments are celebrated, you don't quite see them again. So I think they are the challenges, and they'd be quite common around other parishes. But I think it's just small moves, Sharon, even locally. What might work for Pirie may not work somewhere else, or might work better, or and I think it's just plugging away, just keep plugging away, and that welcoming, and go from there. And it's the tight-knit community that we have in our parishes to keep working together. I see myself, I guess, with my journey and how I feel about my faith, I speak with my actions mainly. But when you're saying about evangelisation, it's interesting that I've been asked to be a guest speaker this coming Friday for the World Day of Prayer. And I don't mind because I've been asked to be a guest speaker before, because I've been involved with Fred's Van, or people are interested in my ministry or what I do. And without gloating, I just touch on what I do, but it's really just to explain the actions of those ministries that I'm involved with. And it's all about not just I, but it's about we work as a team. So this has been a challenge, something again I couldn't say no to this coming Friday. And I've been asked to speak about that God has a plan for us all. So I've had to come out of my comfort zone there and do quite a bit of reading to give this talk. So if that's evangelisation, it could be in a way, because it's 10 minutes that I'll be quoting from the scripture or just sharing with others what plans do they feel they have that God has for them. I sing in the choir. I think that's an expression of evangelisation. I introduced 4 children over the weekend because I'm part of their faith formation for their first Holy Communion. So I like to get up front and I'll call the kids up and ask them, what in one word, how does that describe Jesus? And we say, if there was one word to describe Jesus, that word is love. So it's getting the kids up and allowing the community to welcome them with a big show of hands and singing happy birthday to one of our parishioners. I mean, I really enjoy that chance when I'm up just to make a few announcements. And I think that if that also brings joy, again, I'm speaking, but it's by our actions as well. It's about community, really, and it's not just about the Catholic Church. We're very ecumenical here, which is good. And I think it's really we are the hands, heart and feet of Jesus by our actions. So